It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Because you're
I'm talking to you. Please. Man, I don't care if you have me on recording. I could care less. I just don't want to, what I'm afraid of, because of who you are, as me, like, taking him, and then you, like, fighting me off of him, and then you like, oh my God, you abused me.
no, I wouldn't do. First of all, you have laid hands on me before, so you have. I have pictures of it.
I know.
And text messages of it.
You have pictures of it right here?
Yeah, and you text
Who
me.
the f*** is gonna care about that?
Who's gonna care?
Who's
gonna care?
Bro, there are bruises of, you know, I don't even get into that.
But they came from your hands.
Of course they did.
Okay.
Did I punch you? Did I slap you?
Just because you didn't punch me doesn't mean that's okay. Wow.
Halo, come back.
Wow.
No.
At the end of the day, if you like the fact that you can sit here and allow, no, because your child has been traveling since 5 a.m. He's been traveling since 5 a.m. and you're sitting here making him crazy to me because you're.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, we just watched a video of an NBA G League player who is Mr. Hampton, RJ Hampton, who obviously is having some conflict with his ex/baby mama, and he's there to spend some time with his child. Looks like it might have been at a hotel or something like that lobby. Well, unfortunately, she's upset with him, and she's recording him, not secretly, but she's letting him know she's recording him. And she brings up allegations of abuse. She brings up allegations of him physically putting his hands on her. And it seems like she's attempting to really engage him to get him either to admit to it or to provoke him into a confrontation. And what I don't like about this video is that she took the video, didn't obviously get what she was hoping to get, I believe, but she still released it to the public. It appears as though she's setting the stage for a future lawsuit of litigation against him. And I would advise him to never go to retrieve his child or see his child in her presence again by himself. He needs to have a witness.
Okay, so you're starting off and your primary concern is not whether or not this professional basketball player beat his girlfriend up or baby mama or fiance. I don't know the context of the relationship, but a romantic partner with whom he has a child. And your primary concern is not immediately, well, did he beat up his girlfriend? And I think that's Jump Street. Now, from their interactions, first of all, you say she was, she may have been surreptitiously recording him. He didn't acknowledge the camera. He could have thought she was just texting or on her phone, and the angles were very weird. So she could have been recording him without his knowledge or consent. Now, he did seem, if you want to play devil's advocate, let's say, okay, this is our first concern needs to be, is he beating her up? And it really does. But let's move to the second concern. Well, when you listen to his rejoinder, he's like, I didn't slap you, I didn't hit you. Of course there's bruises. There is the possibility that she attacked him and he restrained her and left bruises. That's something that should be explored, right? She seemed to be concerned about the state of the child, having traveled since 5 a.m., she said. But from her perspective, until we know the scope of the abuse, we don't really know if this was a ill-advised attempt to sabotage his career, an ill-advised attempt to get even with him for breaking up, or she was a legitimately battered spouse trying to bring attention to physical abuse. We don't know which it is.
And do you think, based on what we witnessed in that video of Mr. Hampton, this NBA G League player, that her motivation was solely to where he wouldn't touch her or it would protect her, letting him know that I'm recording you, so don't put your hands on me? That was not the case.
Well, how do you know?
What it seemed to me, based on the video that I watched, just like you, it appeared that she was a woman trying to establish on video that she's been the victim of domestic violence and abuse by this particular gentleman. But what she also has to understand, right now, he's a G League player. He's not even in the NBA right now. So he's not making NBA dollars. He's making G League dollars, which are nothing dollars. So I would say to this brother and to all black men who date white women, I have to say this. You love who you love. You marry who you marry. But I want to warn you athletes who marry or date white women, if she alleges abuse, 9 times out of 10, the white police officers and investigators and district attorneys are not going to want to hear your side of the story. They're going to charge you and then say, prove yourself innocent after the fact. And the minute you lay one finger on her, she'll bruise up quickly because she's a white woman. And they're going to take the word of that white woman over yours, unfortunately. That's sad. That's sad to say, but it's truthful. Too many brothers are getting caught up really being attacked by them, and they defend themselves just by holding the woman. The police show up, they see a bruise, the brother go to jail.
When you say they're being attacked by them, who are you referring to? White women?
Men.
You are suggesting that
athletes
the majority
who have dated white women.
The majority of black men who have a domestic violence incident with a white woman, you're saying the majority of them are attacked by the white woman? I'm
not saying that at all.
That's exactly
what
you
I
just
am
said.
saying is that far too many brothers need to be aware. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what happens. Don't you lay one finger on that white woman, because they're not going to give you benefit of the doubt when the police come.
And you think if it's a black woman, she's not going to set them up that way?
No, black women will do that too, some of them, unfortunately.
Okay.
But when a black woman alleges abuse, the police is going to really want to hear both sides and then decide what they're going to do. If they show up and it's a black man there and a white woman, he going to jail on the spot.
So this is your indictment. You're indicting all law enforcement, including in our incredibly diverse law enforcement. In 2024, the law enforcement communities have become incredibly diverse. Prosecutors, elected officials in big cities. We see some big cities and in medium-sized cities where almost all police leadership is people of color, right? So you're saying that, and I know you're saying, well, they're working for the white man, the white devil. But what you're saying is that black men are trapped by an unfair system. Okay, but let's look at the statistics, right? Let's look at the statistics on domestic violence. It is almost always, right, 80-something% of the time, men attacking women. Men commit let's put race to the side. Men commit overwhelming amounts of violent crime in America, right? And the only category, generally speaking, where if you take it per capita, where there is more violence, if you break it about demographics, it's only one demographic, right? Asian men.
But Charles, there was a video released just a year ago of a white woman who was in a relationship with a black professional athlete.
Okay.
And on the video, he was recording her. She didn't know it. And she says on the video, who do you think they're going to believe when I call the police? I'm a white woman, you a black male.
Okay, so that's a horrible
Let's
person.
be honest now, brother.
Okay, hold on.
And let me tell you something.
I
don't care who the brother is. If you dating a white woman like that, don't you put your damn hands on her, because you're going to go to the penitentiary.
So you have taken an example of one white woman behaving abhorrently.
No.
And let me finish my sentence.
Facts.
You have taken an example of one white woman behaving abhorrently, and then you have applied it to all white women. So if a black man is behaving abhorrently, an individual black man, and a white person were to get on TV and say, hey, this black man did this horrible thing, all black men are this horrible thing, that makes you a damn racist, right? So to explain to me how the math is that you can say that about white women and you're not a racist, because you sound like a racist.
If you are a black man, I'm going to say it for the third time, if you're a black man in a relationship with a white woman, you do everything within your power to make sure you don't lay a finger on her. Because if she call the cops, when the cops come, they not giving you benefit of the doubt, brother. They taking your black behind the jail, and she gonna be treated as a victim, whether she started the fight or not.
Hold on. If you're a man in a relationship with a woman or another man, why don't you do your best not to use physical violence
but guess
on them?
What,
Period.
In many cases,
don't beat up your partner.
But in many cases, the woman attacks the man first.
And the omega.
But how often does the woman slap the man and hit him first?
Okay.
Unheard. They said Cardi B was catching Offset doing all type of and basically when Cardi B was like 8 months pregnant, Offset went through her phone and called her texting some dog named Stephon Diggs, some football player, okay? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I heard that name 5 other. It's kind of crazy. That is the fucker. He done everybody in the game, which is kind of ironic because every time your girl want to get their lick back, they go to the biggest. They complain about you, and they try to get with is a bigger. don't make sense. But it's all good. Typical female. Now, you know what's so funny? And this is what I heard. I'm gonna tell you everything I heard. I heard Cardi didn't even him. This is what I heard, honestly. I heard she didn't him, right? But she was texting, and this is what I done heard.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So we began the show with an interesting discussion about domestic violence, and then we shift gears to just hot goss about Cardi B and Houston Texans' own wide receiver 2, I think it's a fair comment, former Buffalo Bills wide receiver 1, doing very well. Stephon Diggs, who had some troubles with Josh Allen and up there. Apparently, I mean, the rumor on these Houston streets is he is somewhat of a ladies' man. And apparently, in a response to allegations that Offset had run around on her, Cardi B is now a former stripper who got in some trouble for talking about some of her behaviors, aggressive, possibly aggressive behaviors when she was a stripper. Very successful rapper, in her own right. Talking about her maybe texting him, sexting, an inappropriate texting relationship. If he was running around first, I ain't mad at her. And when this guy, I don't even know who this idiot was doing all the cursing and double talk that we just played, but he used the phrase typical woman, right? And this is the real problem we have when, if it's a typical woman that gets cheated on and then cheats back, well, that's not a typical woman. That's a woman that got cheated on, right? And when we just look at it, it's very easy to look at things through the prism of the self, right? I'm a man. I'm a heterosexual man, so I'm just going to side with heterosexual men, period. I think you often fall in the category where you're a black male Muslim, so you tend to always side with people that you share either an ethnic identity, a religious identity, or some other demographic with. You take their side no matter what. And I disagree with that, right? If Cardi B got cheated on and she responded to cheating not by going out there and, cheating back, but just having an inappropriate conversation with somebody, I don't necessarily think she did anything wrong.
I would say this, Charles. Unfortunately, we in America, we've reached such a low level and a loss of the moral sense of shame to where the standards of both men and women have went rock bottom. There was never a time in my community where we as men glorified dating or being in serious relationships with a stripper. In fact, everyone in my community would have made mockery of you if you were such a damn fool to even believe that you could be in a committed relationship with a stripper in the black community and say that's a loyal relationship. Let me finish. Even a former stripper, because in my community, only God could redeem and reform a quote-unquote former stripper, a quote-unquote former hoe, male or female. But what's happening now is we have glorified women with low standards. We've glorified men with low standards. And so I would encourage Sister Cardi B and whoever she's in a relationship with, brother, whoever it may be very careful who you choose to get in bed with, because many men and women don't know this. They're going to bed with the devil themselves. And if you're seeking revenge because you've been cheated on, and then you get in bed like the man was saying, Mr. Academics on his podcast.
Oh, that was DJ Academics. That's who that was.
That they are getting in bed with men who are known to be quote-unquote whores or players, and yet you condemn your man for being the very thing with the type of man you cheating on him with. See, it shows the madness of the psychological damage that has been done to women and men in this nation.
But first of all, you refer to Cardi B as Sister Cardi B, right? But then immediately prior to that, you basically called her a scarlet letter wearing, permanently defined hoe because she, at one point in her life, worked as a stripper. She's obviously an incredibly successful musician, built her own career. We don't know about her come-up circumstance, about her financial situation or what she had to do. We do know that it's widely accepted that it's alleged that Offset had multiple extramarital affairs, and you are criticizing her as
But
the
Charles,
woman for
she
the
knew,
clapback.
Charles, she knew what he was when she got with him,
well,
and
then why
he
was
knew, and he knew what she
then
was
why-
when he got with her. So how in the hell
think-
can two people who know who each other are be in such denial when they be who they are? You want to accuse them of cheating or being unfaithful when neither one of them were practicing loyalty or faithfulness in any relationship.
You don't know that. You don't know that
Charles,
she was not
this
faithful.
man was a major
Now, why would
hip-hop figure. How many loyal, faithful, major men that are hip-hop figures in the hip-hop community? Let's be real.
Okay.
And how many women you know that are quote-unquote former strippers who glorify being a stripper, who are proud of it, that you would take to be a faithful female in a relationship?
Okay, here's the thing. Why would she have her feelings hurt if she didn't believe her husband was going to be faithful, right? So she clearly believed that they were in a committed relationship. And I don't care what kind of relationship you had before a relationship started or how you lived. If once you make you take a vow, you make a choice, and someone is reasonable to rely on it, no matter what. This isn't Nathaniel Hawthorne's early America.
So
this
you want to believe, you want to tell people that two hoes can fall in love and be faithful?
Yes, absolutely.
And the minute there's stress, the minute there's drama or trauma or hard trial in that relationship, both of them will go back to being who they are unless there's been spiritual reform in both of them.
I think you like to define people by basic tropes and then whine about it when the racists do it to you. It's not fair. It's absurd.
Charles, two strippers and two hoes are not going to be loyal to each other unless God reformed the both of them.
In today's face-off, up.
Hired deputy fire chief in the Fort Worth suburb of Pantego. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. That arrest originally was not made public, and neither was the video until Fox 4 made a request for open records.
Turn around. We're going to put you in handcuffs, okay? Yeah, no problem. Hey, Franklin, I'm putting you under arrest, but you're under arrest for public intoxication, okay?
So this is body camera footage from that July arrest of Robert Franklin. He was ultimately charged with DWI for allegedly being drunk while in uniform and driving a city vehicle. Fox 4's David Centendry has more. David.
Yeah, the deputy fire chief's blood alcohol content was nearly 3 times the legal limit, according to police records. Tonight, we're checking out that body camera footage for the first time, as well as hearing a 911 call from a woman he reportedly picked up. July 24th, 2024.
Hey, bud. What's going on?
A Pantego police officer finds Pantego Deputy Fire Chief Robert Franklin in his uniform, allegedly drunk, and slumped over the wheel of a fire department SUV behind the fire station.
Hey, Franklin, look at me, okay? You are not normal. Look at me. We've been friends, okay? You are not normal right now, okay? What's going on today? Just hold my hands. What's going on? Talk to me. Use your words. Trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out, okay?
We'll explain how this began. A woman whose car broke down frantically called 911 to report a complaint about Franklin, who had come to assist her.
I don't know how to really explain it, but my car had broke down, and a firefighter, he came and he helped me.
The stranded driver needed to pick up her son from daycare and told 911 dispatch that Franklin, who just so happened to be driving by in his fire vehicle, offered her a ride.
He was super nice at first. I kind of felt like it was weird. He was like flirting in the meantime. I asked for my number. He was just flirting and just saying like inappropriate stuff.
The woman.
Charles, Deputy Chief Robert Franklin is absolutely the F-up of the day. This poor fella, how in the hell? This poor fella, how in the hell you get drunk in uniform, driving the fire vehicle that's assigned to the deputy chief and fire chief? He driving the vehicle, pissy drunk, as grandmama used to say. Then he pulls over to do a good thing, to help a woman with a flat tire. And then he decides that once he changes the tire, he's all ready for firefighting, so you know he's hot, because he's a firefighter. He fights flames. He wanted her to get wet and cool him off. Lord have mercy, Jesus.
You know, I think that Yeah, a number of questions. First of all, I applaud law enforcement for holding him to account and arresting him for his behavior as opposed to trying to cover it up. They were obviously had a friendship between the officer and the assistant fire chief. And fire chiefs are usually, fire personnel are usually the EMTs that show up to, when there's a tragedy where an officer is hurt. So there is a relationship there, but transparency matters. The Fox affiliate up in Dallas had to fight to get this video released. I think that it should have been released right away. I think that hopefully he is removed from his position and they will follow through with the prosecution. I think it is exacerbated when you're a public official in a uniform. And I think the consequence should be more severe, right? Not less because of who you know. This guy not only stopped to help, but got a woman alone, drove with her in the car, said inappropriate things to her, frightened her. You could hear the fear in her voice. And that's all just awful. And he needs to have the book thrown at him. But we also need to be able to expect our local, municipal, state and federal government
drunk in uniform
to be more transparent. And
who
say,
in the hell let him get drunk in uniform?
Like, it happens more than you
Who
would
did
think.
that?
And firemen or firefighters are different than law enforcement because oftentimes they spend like 24 hours or 3 or 4 days at the station. They'll work 3 on, 3 off, or 7 on, 7 off, right? And they will be up at the station for a 24-hour period, living their entire life.
But where's the sexual harassment charge here?
Well, that's not a crime.
Wait, no. The way he approached her inappropriately to make sexual advances toward her, there's a charge for that. They chose not to give him a charge.
He's a scumbag. Hopefully they hold him to account.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.